Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I review different action figures. Today I'll be reviewing the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Bane from the Last Night on Earth Bane Build-A-Figure wave. So let's get straight into the video. Alright, so Bane does not come with a box because of course he's a Build-A-Figure. He just comes with all of the other figures in the wave. And he doesn't really actually have any accessories, which is kind of disappointing. I would have liked him to maybe come with something, at least the extra stand in one of the packages or something. I have an extra one here that I can give him, but I would have liked to have a dedicated stand for him. And then I'd also really like to have a trading card. I don't know about you guys, but I really do like them. I like to have the little bios to read about them. I just think it's a cool little addition. So I think that would have been nice if they included one. That's kind of one of my gripes with the Build-A-Figures, is that they don't have one ever. I think they could just possibly have given it to one of the other figures and just had them have two trading cards in there. But I guess maybe they don't want to do that. And actually you could probably count Scarecrow here as an accessory to Bane just because he pegs into the back right here. I showed him in the Scarecrow review that I did, and if you haven't checked out that video, you should definitely go do that. All it does is just peg in like that. There we go. And he just lays on his back like that. Very cool. So he's kind of an accessory, but nothing else really. Maybe come with some different hands or something with one of the figures just to give him more options, but I don't know. He's alright for what he is, being such a big figure here. And so now I guess we'll move on to looking at the details of this figure. And so we'll take a closer look at him. And for this face, you can see it looks very nice. More of a mask, actually. You can see kind of some leather texturing on there, some nice wrinkle details on there. And you've even got a little zipper on the back there, which is very cool to see. It's a very small detail, but very cool. And then on the front of the mask, you can see he has sort of a little white bat on there for his mask. Looks very cool. It's a little different than the traditional Bane mask, and you got those red eyes in there. And then for all of his skin, it looks very cool. I would have liked it to be a little more skin colory because in the comic it did kind of look like this, where it's kind of yellow grayish sort of thing, but it did have some skin color in there. So that just would have been a little cooler in my opinion, to have it look a little more like a normal Bane, because he looks a little more stylized here. And I just think it would have been a little better if he had some of that skin tone in there more. But it still does look very cool. You can see it's kind of mostly gray with a little sort of yellowish gray wash on it, dry brush sort of thing that looks very nice. You can see all the vein details, and it just looks very cool overall. And then you've got his tank top right here, which looks very cool. You can see all the fabric details on there, as well as some rips that look very cool. And it is kind of a rubbery piece on there. You can't remove it though, it's glued down. And it just looks very nice overall. You can feel the texture on there. Got his belt right here, silver and red. Looks very nice. Would have liked to have some silver right there just to break it up a little bit. You can see he's got like, I don't know what that is, maybe a grenade or some extra venom stuff there. That does look cool. And then you've got his pants, which have that same texturing as the tank top right here. Got some different pouches on the sides here. Whoops, there goes his hand. I'll get that in just a little bit. But it would have been nice to have some different paint on these pouches just to break up, because it kind of just meshes all together right there. But then you do have these knee pads slash shin guards right here. This one's just a knee pad right there, and then this one is a shin guard right there. It looks very nice. Got some silver on the sides here. I do like that it's different right here, so you can actually see the shoelaces on that one, while that one's got the shin guard that covers it up fully. And it's just looking very nice overall, with his boots looking good with that same detail all over. And then for his hands and arm right here, you've got this little venom tube thing right here that goes into his hands and veins sort of thing right there. That's another thing I would have liked to see, is maybe some venom running through the different veins. It would have been a little cooler to have that showing, and I would have liked to see that. And then his hands, you can see, got silver on here, and it would really hurt to get punched by these metal knuckle pieces right there. I mean, probably hurt a ton, so Batman probably has to dodge those a lot. But it does just look very nice. You got a bunch of nicks and dings all over there, and it's just looking very cool overall, and I really like how he looks. There just could have been a couple of things that he could have had added paint-wise to him. Get him stand up right there, maybe not. Can move his leg there. All right. See, that's why sometimes you need to stand, but most of these pretty good. And so yeah, but I like the way he looks pretty good. You just could have added a couple little things paint-wise. And so yeah, there you go. And now articulation time! So for this head, you've got a little bit of up, not really much, just because his neck's pretty big on there. We've got a little bit of down, can go side to side like that, and just slight tilt on there. Not a ton though. And then you got the arms. Oh, there goes his hand again. That's a problem that he has, is his hands don't stay in the best. We'll see if it stays in for the rest. I'll just keep it out. But you've got the arm that goes up that much right there. Can spin it all the way around. No bicep swivel right here, but you can actually swivel here at the elbow right there. There goes his hand again. I'll put it in just a second. And you can go forward just a little bit, but it is expected that this Build-A-Figure won't have nearly as much articulation as the other ones, just because he's a lot bulkier. And then for the hands, you can see they pop out a lot, which I don't like a lot, but you can twist like that, and you can go forward and back. You just want to make sure that pushing forward into the socket when you are moving it, just so it stays in there. And you actually can see a little bit of gappage right there when you're moving it, and sometimes it'll pop out, which is one of the things I don't like about him, and it's a pretty big problem if you're moving them around a lot. They just tend to fall out and don't stay in, so like if you shake it, it'll fall out like that, which isn't too good. But moving on, you got the torso, which goes side to side like this, and then not really any forward at all. It does have a little bit of back, but it doesn't seem to stay that much. And then you have the legs, which rotate like this, and this is another problem, is these legs are super tough to get on. You probably saw that in my Scarecrow video. If you haven't watched that, you can go see it. It is super tough to get these on. And so it's kind of a little risky to move these too much. Can go back a little bit and forward just a little bit, but they might pop off on you on accident, and it's hard to get them back on. So that's another problem this figure has. It's got quite a bit of articulation problems and things staying in. But then you got the legs right here, which go back that much. It's pretty decent. You might be able to get him in a running pose there. Not too sure about that, but maybe just sort of a walking pose there, which is pretty nice. And then you have the feet, which go back that much and forward that much. And I actually noticed that this one can go a lot more forward, just because this leg has the shin guard right here, which hinders it a little bit. So you can get a little bit more movement on that one. And then you have the toe articulation right there, which is my favorite, of course. And so yeah, there you have it for the articulation of this Bane Build-A-Figure. And now here's a little comparison with all of the other figures from this wave. And if you haven't seen my review for any of these figures, you should definitely go check them out. And you can see Bane being built throughout those videos. And you can see that Bane is very large. He's a lot bigger than all of these other figures. He's taller, and he's just a really big chunk of plastic. And I think everyone looks great standing next together. And so yeah, there you have it for a little comparison. And then here's some different poses I like to put Bane into. And so this one's just kind of that running / walking pose I was trying to get him into earlier. Not the best pose it can do, but it'll do for just sort of a walking pose for such a big figure like this with limited articulation. And then this next pose I have him in, he's got both of his hands up, looking like he's just about to smash down on something and do a lot of damage. And so that one's pretty cool. And then, of course, I always like to pair him up with Scarecrow in the poses, just to make him look cooler, and just to have him with that more comic book complete look with both of them together. And so yeah, there you have it for some different poses I like to put this figure into. Alright, so overall, this is a very cool figure. While he does have his fair share of problems with his hands and his legs, he still is a very cool figure, and he looks great. I just would have liked a little more detail with the paint, such as some Venom green paint on some of his veins. I think that would have just added a little extra something. And then also, if he had more of a natural skin color mixed in with that sort of grayish color to him, I think it would have looked just a little better. And a little more accurate to the comic book too. But overall, he's a very cool Bane, and I like his design on here. It's a little different. All of the designs from this wave are a little bit different than what the characters normally look like. And before I saw these action figures, I didn't really know about the Last Night on Earth comic book stuff, but I really like the character designs, and I think they are very cool. And so yeah, they're just all very cool, and I really do like this figure. And so next I'll be reviewing the US Agent, and then after that I will start my reviews of the Justice League figures, which will be very exciting, and so make sure to watch out for those videos coming out in the next little while. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified for all my videos. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.